One mic live in 2 minutes. One mic live in 1 minute.
People taking to the streets. So much protest, no relief, no relief, no relief for you, for you, for you. We need for you, revolution for you. We need for you, revolution for you. We need for you, revolution for you. We need for you. We need for you. We need for you.
One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice.
Welcome to the One Mic, One Voice show, building the collective conscious. Show that's created to give space where your voice, ideas, and informed opinions can be heard, appreciated, and yea, debated. I am Michael Eric Owens, man. In the One Mic studio, folks. trying to do what I do each and every Sunday. Man, but it's a cold Sunday in Oklahoma. It's a cold Sunday. Man, we below zero. Can you believe that? Not just below zero, we have snow on the ground. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Well, I think it's got something to do with that global warming, but you know, so many people debunk that. But I think our planet is in crisis. But also our government is in crisis. I want to thank you for joining me today. The title of this episode, I don't even know what number episode it is. I lost track. It's been going on 6 years now, and so it's up there. It's up there. Look at the catalog, and I'm sure you can find something that speaks to your heart and your mind. But today's episode, I have to, and this episode is more about the historical record. It's more about setting the record straight, because there come a time in this life when one reflects back on history, and there will come a time in the distant future when someone will reflect upon history, and they might just run across this podcast, just maybe. And I think it is important that today's voices not only echo throughout our country and our world, but they continue to reverberate throughout history. And so this particular episode, I title it Republicans No Longer the Grand Old Party. And of course, the backdrop to all of this is what we witnessed this past week. And I'm not sure if you are like me, that you pay that much attention to what's going on with our government. But I hope you do, because we have been inundated with so much negativity, lies, conspiracies over the past 5 years that I think it's necessary to be in tune. And I know it can be overwhelming. I get that. Really, I do. But it's becoming of us to stay engaged even when we feel weary by the onslaught of what has transpired in the last 5 years. So Republicans no longer the grand old party. And I'm not here to say that at one time the Republican or the Democrats were a perfect party. But we live in a two-party system where we need two robust parties. We need the type of debate that at the end of the day produces results for the country. We have not had that over the last 5 years. We've had nothing but lies and misinformation, disinformation, misdirection, anger, division, all under a banner of making our country great again. So we know that this past week you have the second impeachment of Donald J. Trump. The second impeachment, not the first. He is the first president in history to be impeached twice. And well deserving. But the United States Constitution provides that the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment. Article 1, Section 2, and exactly what they did. The Democrats, and I'm not a Democrat, I'm an independent. Been registered and independent for many, many, many years. So I don't advocate. Those of you that know me deeply know that I prefer a multi-party system, not a two-party system, but this is what we have. And so I must commend them for having the courage to stand up and do the right thing, not once, but twice. although they were not victorious. And this is the thing about life, folks. You don't do the right thing because you win. Let me repeat that. You don't do the right thing because you win. You don't do the right thing because there's an award at the end of it. See, that's what motivates a lot of people in our world. They only stand up when it's convenient for them. They only put their name on the line when there's no repercussions. But like my uncle told me, if a man won't stand for something, he will stand for everything. And that's in this case of the Republican Party, the GOP. And I'm going to give it to them because they deserve it. It's a making of their own. It's a creation of their own that they have been just, complicit on. That they have allowed for all of these things to take place. And now the one chicken, have come home to roost. And we might say the chickens because the insurrection was a people. But so Congress has the sole power, and they use their power. And then the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. And those, according to Article 1, Section 3, the president, vice president, all civil officers of the United States are subject to impeachment. Now, and I'm going to get into that breakdown of all of this. But I put something on Facebook a few days prior to the impeachment starting. And this is what I put. What is truth? What is truth? It's a strange question. Do we believe in truth? Will we accept the truth regardless of whether it benefits our side or not? Whether it benefits our republic or not? Will we accept the truth? These are the central questions for the Senate to answer and for us as individuals to answer. And this is what I said. And remember, this is prior to the commencement of the proceedings to impeach Trump. I concluded by saying, if Trump walks, we have our answer. I think it's a dark day in any country, in any family, any community, any relationship when truth does not matter. When truth takes a back seat to things that only benefit the person that withholds it. Truth, if we don't have truth, what do we have? If we can't believe that there is a right and a wrong, and I don't think life is black and white. I know there's many gray areas. There's got to be an axiom. There's got to be a truth that we agree on. And what we have allowed to happen in this country is an erosion of the fabric of truth. The erosion that we can't see truth even looking right at us. Our inability, our lack of fortitude to embrace the hard truth of life has gotten us into this condition. Matter of fact, I would say it is the condition of the American spirit to deny the truth. We won't put it in our textbooks, won't teach our children. Mothers and fathers won't contradict the lies and the stereotypical way of looking at minorities in this country because of privilege, because of fear. I mean, you have our white brothers and sisters that hear racist remarks all the time and don't say anything because they don't want to be outed as being different or not agreeing because of peer pressure. Yeah, we have an erosion of truth. And these 43 Republicans who voted to acquit the former president. The question is, why would they do that? But for Trump, would those people have come to the Capitol and did what they did? That's your simple and answer. He was the reason. Whether you agree that it was right or wrong, clearly you have to agree they were there because he called them there. He gave them the date, the time. He gave them the orders. We're going to go to the Capitol. Mitch McConnell, crooked Mitch, spineless. You're going to get up and denigrate the man after you released him, after you freed him, after you exonerate him. Then you're going to get up and demonize him. Man, that's so weak. I'm just thinking, would anybody, don't give him credit. The 7 Republicans that voted to convict, they need credit. They showed courage. 7. Man, I'm going to put a plug in right now for 7 days, coming out this Tuesday. My latest album. You heard the song if you tuned in early, Revolution. It's on there. You can pick it up. You can go to onemicmedia.com or you can get it on Spotify, iTunes. It's out there. That is on the 16th. But those are the ones who deserve it on the back. But why did these 43 Republicans do what they did? Number one, self-preservation. You see, in our country, we have grown to the point where it's all about the individual. It's all about the individual. As long as I get mine, I don't care about you. I do care about you. I'm just speaking in context of what I'm saying here. We live in a society even with wearing a mask, it infringes upon my freedom. I don't care about your freedom. This individualistic way of looking at the American life, in the sense that it has to benefit me. It has to affect me. Otherwise, I'm not concerned about it. So self-preservation. You see, true character is not shown in the moments of jubilee. It's not shown in the times where we are on the mountaintop and looking down. It's not shown in the times where we're being patted on the back and we're getting accolades right and left. No, it's not in those moments, folks, where we see true character. It's in the moment of crisis. It's in the moment where things are difficult. It's in the moment where we have to make those really hard choices. It's in a moment where that vote might come back to haunt you, or that conversation might come back to haunt you. It's in those times where there is something on the line, where there is something to lose, that when you see character. Yeah. So self-preservation. And the danger in self-preservation is this. This is the danger. The danger is they're there to represent you, us, not to represent themselves, not to preserve themselves, not to uplift or empower themselves, but us. So we have elected people to this body that all they're thinking about is themselves. You have to accept that as being factual when it comes to the 43 Republicans. Now, they would disagree. I'm going to give their argument here in a little bit. So, when there is something to lose, that's when you see the measure of a person, when it's money, power, position. But they're also, why did they do that? Because they generally fear Donald Trump. They are afraid. Scaredy cats. There are people that do not have the courage to stand. They're weak. They are weak. They are weak. So we have elected weak people, fragile individuals, scaredy cats to higher office. Yes, they're weak. They're afraid. They're scared. They're running. They're intimidated. They are bullied. That is that you would think that someone that has put in that time and that effort to do all the work to get there would have some sort of courage. And this is probably the biggest problem or the biggest factor. They're not patriotic people. They're not. They use patriotism. They talk about it. They toss it around like it's I don't know, a nice necktie to wear, a nice pin to put on your jacket or your dress. But they're not patriotic. These are not people that have served their country. They're not people that have sacrificed for their country. They're privileged. They're not people that can identify with the least among us. They are unpatriotic. They don't believe in a democracy. They don't believe that every voice should count. They don't believe in equality. They don't believe that everyone should have the same opportunity and access. They don't believe that. They are not patriotic people. You would think they would be. They salute the flag. They talk about the flag. But these very people weaponize the flag. They've made the flag a curse to those who don't look like them. They're not patriotic people. So let's talk about how they justified what they did. Okay. And I would go on to say that these folks are just as guilty of the same offense as Donald Trump. I'm not talking about the riot. Let me get to it. Let me give you my argument here. They are guilty of the same offense as the former president. You see, Trump would not accept the results of the election, and they would not accept the Senate constitutional vote, which confirmed that the impeachment was constitutional. What is democracy? Their argument is we don't have the jurisdiction to do this. What is democracy? Democracy is we vote and the majority wins. In its most simplest form is that we vote and whoever gets the most votes, whoever side gets the most votes, they win. That's democracy. And what happened in the Senate? They voted. The Democrats, along with some Republicans, it was bipartisan. The most bipartisan impeachment in American history. And what did those 43 Republicans do? Whatever they wanted to do. They didn't accept it. They rejected it. They said, we don't have the power. We don't have the authority. It's not ours. But In a democracy, when you vote and you lose, you accept that. What they should have done is accepted that it was constitutional because the vote said it did. Now, Donald Trump, the vote said he lost, and what did he say? No, it was rigged. There was fraud. It was stolen from me. They're guilty of the same thing. So for McConnell to get up there and talk about how the articles came late when Trump was out of office, he didn't mention the fact that he would not receive it because the majority leader in the Senate from the Democrats until after Trump was out of office. So they couldn't deliver it. The man got up and lied to our faces. Don't applaud him. He's a coward. He's weak. We live in a quote unquote democracy, but what we found out is that we don't. We live in a democracy. We do not live in a democracy. A democracy would not have seen what we saw. It would not have transpired if we accepted the majority vote. Even though we don't agree with it, we accept it. I didn't agree with Trump getting in office, but he was in office. He was the president. I didn't like it, but that was the fact, and we had to move forward accordingly. You see, the Senate affirmed the impeachment was constitutional, but these 43 decided not to accept the results. So what does that tell us about the Republican Party? What does it tell us about the GOP, the grand old party? Well, it tells us that they don't exist anymore. What we have known of the Republican Party, whether we agree or disagree with it, the tenets of it, small government, pro-life, the thing that they propagate, it doesn't exist anymore. They're not governing. There's no capacity within their ranks to govern because they're following a man that's not even in office. Who is a leader of a party that's not even in office? What party yields to an individual that's not in office? When those people stormed the Capitol, they were there for Trump. They wasn't there for America. Elijah said, what are your thoughts on rumors of Trump starting his own party? I hope he does. I hope he does. Because that's just going to split the GOP up even further. And then the Democrats, they'll gain more seats in the House, more in the Senate. It happens every time you try to do a third party. The Republicans, in the last 5-6 elections, they have not won the popular vote? Let him start his own party. Let his hubris take him there. Start it. I'll donate to that. Start your own party, fool. Do it. If the Republicans want to save what little resemblance they have of who they were, they have to break away. That's why you got Representative Kinsey of Illinois fighting to break away. Listen, they don't exist anymore. We don't have a two-party system anymore, only in name only. It doesn't exist. When you have, in the House, it was 140 something Republicans that voted not to impeach, and then you had 43 in the Senate voted not to impeach. Matter of fact, has his own party. He just hasn't named it yet. What he wants to do is completely take over. And what they have given him is the keys. You see, the Republicans are double-minded people. It is Sunday. Every now and then I like to go to the good. And in James, the good book says, he that is double-minded is unstable in all his ways. You see, these are unstable people because Trump is unstable. Their leader is unstable. The party is leaderless. Trump is the de facto leader, but he's not a leader. He doesn't have the quality, the capacity, the skill, the knowledge to lead. They're visionless. They have no vision. They have no conviction. They have no moral compass whatsoever. Folks, listen. I'm not going to be long today on this snowy winter day, but we're going to take a break, and I'm going to wind this thing up. We do not have a two-party system. We have one party, and we have a party that has splintered into multiple parts. What does that mean for our democracy? What does it mean? I don't know. But I do know. I think I'm going to get my dance on for a minute. It's getting too deep in here. I need to shake a little bit. Maybe you can shake with me. Yeah, I know y'all still can do it. Get your old self up. Get your young self up. Yeah. Folks, I'll be right back. This is Michael Eric Owen, host of the One Mic, One Voice show. I want to give a shout out to all of our listeners all across the globe. Thank you for your undivided attention and for your conversation. You can catch us every Sunday on YouTube, 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can also catch us on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, on any one of those lovely, wonderful podcasting platforms you like to listen to. Please always remember, you can change the world. It's your choice. You saw history. Something that our children's children will read about. And read the stories of yesterday and wonder, how is that possible? How could people be so evil, so hurtful, so damning? We don't have to wonder that anymore. Yeah. We've seen it and experienced it in our day. We're in trouble. Deep trouble. Folks, you see, Donald Trump, and I'm going to use this term, he gangstered the Republican Party. Oh, yeah. He gangstered by opening up the floodgates to white supremacists, bigots, and conspiracists. He opened the door. He said, come on in. Why? Because they liked me. Because they saw in him the anger, the loss, the regret, the pain that they feel in their own lives. See, these are people that blame others and never look at the person in the mirror. Blacks are their problem, and Latinx folks are their problem. LGBTQ plus are their problem. Women are their problem. Everybody else is their problem, except for them, except for the individual that looks back at you every day from the mirror. So what will we do with this party? What will we do? Well, let me give you 6 things that we need to do. Number 1, we need to view this as a cult. I'm working with an expert that's going to come on and talk about the cult of Trump. For many years, she's worked in this area of cults, and she's an expert. But we have to view them as a cult, not as a political party. You see, when you view a political party, that comes with certain traditions and rules and regulations and behavior. You can't view the Republican Party as a government entity. They're a cult with their own ideology and belief and follower, who is Donald Trump. We can give them no credibility. None. None. You might well say that's harsh. There are people in the Republican Party that do not accept Donald Trump. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't argue with that. But then I say, get out. Leave the party. You can't be, if you stay, you accessory. If I'm in the car and they're riding to rob a bank, I said, well, man, I'm not with that, man. I'm not going to rob no bank. Well, I got a choice. I can get out. But if I go with them, I'm an accessory. I'm guilty. I can't say, well, in the end, when it's over with, say, hey, look, Judge, I wasn't for that. I had a choice. So for those who remain, you have a choice. If not, you're guilty association. We give them no credibility. We expect them, number 3, to be disloyal to the Constitution and to our country. We expect that. So don't get upset. Don't get beyond yourself when this happens, because we expect that. People, they're only loyal to their leader. They're only loyal to the group. Anyone outside of the group is an enemy. It's seen as ignorant, not understanding, because they alone have the truth. They alone have the vision of America, and we're not part of it. So when they do things like this, what happened in the Senate and things to come, we expect that, because they're disloyal to the Constitution of our country. Every word that comes out of this camp should be viewed as suspect. Every word. What McConnell said, suspect. If you voted to acquit, every word you say is suspect. Number 5, we judge their actions and not their rhetoric. Okay. McConnell again. I bring him up. Crooked Mitch. He wouldn't receive the impeachment document on time, but stood up and said Trump is guilty, but voted to acquit him. No, not your words, Mitch. It's your actions. Okay. And number 6, we vote them out of office. We see what happened in Georgia with Kelly Loeffler and that other guy, name's not even worth mentioning. They lost. Folks, they can lose. We can remove them. And it's time to do that. This is unacceptable. In their present condition, I don't believe that the Republican Party is redeemable. I don't believe that. I don't believe that the party has the leadership within it to turn it around, to make it credible, to make it viable. We have seen the death of a party in our lifetime. It's just a matter of time. Because Trump, oh man, what he's going to do to them, he's going to rip them apart. They're already on their knees. They're going to prostrate themselves before him. He's a demigod. History showed this about Donald Trump. He's the only president, as I mentioned before, that has been twice impeached. He's an insurrectionist. He tried to take down, he said, if I don't win, I'm taking down everything. I'm going to burn it to the ground. Matter of fact, lose their lives. He's a racist. That's what history will see him as, a racist, a liar, a sexist, a xenophobe, and a political cult leader. That's what history will view him as. We are in dark moments in American history. We don't have to read about the past to know what it was like. We're living it today. I see a storm on the horizon. A storm in which we have not seen before, folks. Only time will tell who is prepared and who will survive, because history will speak of us. Somewhere in the distant future, a scribe will reach down deep into the archives of our time, and what will she find? Will she discover that we overcame our differences? Will she find that out of many, we solve nothing, remain a divided peoples? Yes, history will speak of us.
We can make a difference if we try. We can beat the change that's in our lives. All we gotta do is work together. We gotta raise our children better. We gotta stop the hate, and spread the love.
One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. Your choice.
Thank you for downloading the One Mic, One Voice show. Take a moment and subscribe and share. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platform. Thank you for your continued support and for your voice. You can change the world. It's your choice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the One Mic, One Voice show are not the views, thoughts, and opinions of our sponsors.